I've been starting, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
So, hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Happy Independence Day and a very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the 583rd meeting of the Medley Toastmasters Club. I am Abhimanyu. I am Sergeant and Arms for the Medley Toastmasters Club. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member gets an opportunity to improve communication and leadership skills, which in turn boosts self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow three ground rules. Rule number one, please maintain silence throughout the meeting. And if you are not talking, put yourself on mute. Rule number two, please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. Rule number three, please do join the meeting in formal attire. And rule number four, that is, kindly turn off the video when moving. So with this, over to the presiding officer, TDM Thomas Abraham, who is a former senior vice president, corporate communicator, corporate communication with Hinduja Group. Thomas combined words, voice, photography, and design. A proud Medallion since January 2015, he is a past PR manager of the district 82. So with this, over to the DTM Thomas Abraham.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Abhimanyu. With the imaginary sound of this imaginary gavel, I declare open Medley meeting number 5A3. A very good afternoon and happy Independence Day. It's with unalloyed joy that I welcome all of you. And today we have a true galaxy of dignitaries on their way or already in, including immediate past advisor, Region 13, DTM Dr. Brilliant, former District 82 Director and immediate past President, DTM Sugandhi Periswamy, our distinguished guest evaluators, DTM Dr. Sheikh Anju and Toastmaster Farviz Imamuddin, immediate past Director, Division K, Toastmaster Kalyan, immediate past District Assistant Chief Judge, DTM Sunil Jose, past Divisional Direct Governor, DTM Guru Prasad, Area C3 Director, Toastmaster Ram Prasad, Charter Member, DTM Dr. Sampath Saurirajan, Medallions in large numbers, visiting Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. A hearty welcome to each of you. Today, we commemorate a series of events over a century plus that changed our identity, our destiny, our history. History is a great integrator of seemingly unrelated incidents and people, connecting standalone dots so magically. Since I promised the TMOD that I will not steal the thunder of the theme, irresistibly tempting though it is, let me instead let you into the dots that we connected while planning this meeting. The context to this meeting is stark and somber. Families cooped up in urban spaces. First, the parents had the right to the quiet room and the data card. Then came online classes. Laptop and connections became common property. But in the case of a conflict, education won over employment. Why? Because children are born that way. Add to it the poor connectivity in the beautiful countrysides that the work from home professionals rediscovered. Net result, Toastmasters had to drop out of roles and speeches. Now, how to change this adversarial position? How to heal the conflict of interest? How to put Toastmasters and their families on the same side? Again, the 15th August context. Children will miss the Independence Day parades. Why not a unifying event for the entire family? And in the process prove that Medley has got talent. But then came Article 2, Section 1, which says that the minimum age for entry is 18. Slowly we recovered. We dipped into our childhood memories, running to the school in crisp whites, the march past, the parade, the flag hoisting, the chocolate, running back home with most of the day practically ahead for all the mischief. We decided to relive these memories. That led to the rhetorical question, when was the last time you sang the national anthem loud with friends? That generated an even more inconvenient question. When was the last time you sang anything loud? Freedom. Are we free? And imagine today is Independence Day. That clinched us. That clinched it for us, with the resolve to break the repression that has silenced us since the mid of March, the lockdown. Of course, wearing the tricolor, adding to the fervor. Just a case study to say, you can't have everything your way, but you can have your way. At the same time, a national identity is not a limiting factor. It's a liberator. It's an integrator, no matter what language one speaks at home, and if I dare say, in the airport. So we have 3 visiting Toastmasters, DTM Brilliant from Mumbai, DTM Anjum from Pune, caught in the Bangalore lockdown, quite signs of our times, right? And Toastmaster Fervis from Kandy. Thank you, each of you, for making time. And now, to take us through the fading pages of history, to build the mood to a crescendo as the day and us both deserve, we have the erudite, witty, with a boyish, mischievous smile, a scientist well-grounded in logic, yet a romantic and a lover of many good things in life. Our charter member, DTM Dr. Sampath Saurirajan. Over to you, Doctor.
Jai Hind and Namaste to all our medley members, guests, and Toastmasters from elsewhere, and in fact, all Indians everywhere, either by birth or by spirit. So today is the Independence Day. We got the independence in 1947, called The Tryst with Destiny by one of our leaders. What has changed before some 47, August 15, and after that point in time? It's a matter of thought, debate, conjecture, introspection. We should all do that. We are supposed to have got self-control, self-determination, and self-reliance. Independence truly means self-reliance. You don't depend on anyone else. But still, in a world, human beings cannot live alone. We have mutual dependence and interdependence between us inside India and India among the nations. You cannot write it off. We have freedom. Freedom from what? Not absolute freedom, qualified freedom. As most of us have learned, either by good luck or bad luck sometimes. Have you thought a room cannot hold 2 persons who are really independent in spirit? It cannot hold. Then think about 1 billion and more people. How can this possibility arise of having absolute unity and cohesion? It will not. So what is the solution? 100% unity? Impossible. 100% unanimity? Impossible. But what is possible is unison. Unison is possible. One voice, many thoughts in many directions, many thoughts for many different results, but one voice. This is the great Indian dictum of unity in diversity. When an occasion like this comes, can I let it go without a limerick?
Sir, you're on mute.
Let me repeat the limerick. Many a nation is but a geographical notion, but ours is defined by people's emotion. I stand in the awe of the great India, which is an ever-bubbling cultural ocean. I will quickly repeat it. Many a nation is but a geographical notion, but ours is defined by people's emotion. I stand in the awe of the great India, an ever-bubbling cultural ocean. Friends, every Toastmaster meeting has got mainly 3 sessions during the education part. A session of prepared, a session of unprepared speeches, and a session of feedback. Let us activate the feedback group assembled here today. Today, DTM Sunil Jose will be in charge of the feedback activity. Lawyer for last 20 years and humorous. He has got his own firm in Chennai, specializing in trademark, copy, industrial designs, patents. A Toastmaster for 10 years is a past president of our own medley, past area director, and immediate past chief judge of District 82B. DTM Sunil with a thunderous applause. Before he takes on, I got a question for DTM Sunil. Are you on? Have you unmuted yourself?
Yes, sir. You can hear me?
Mr. General Evaluator, criticism, even if constructive, interferes with one's freedom of expression. Do you agree? Criticism, even if constructive, interferes with one's freedom of expression. Do you agree?
Sir, there is no one word for that. It again depends on how we take it. So I can't give a straight away answer for that. Because we have seen people interpret it according to their whims and fancies. So let me maybe
You can proceed with your team.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Dr. Sampath Saurirajan. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if any are here. My name is Sunil Jose, as he explained. I am the general evaluator today. So my role is to evaluate everything that takes place during this club meeting. I will take notes and on the club's proceedings, enthusiasm, duties, etc. To perform to evaluate enthusiasm, preparation. I will be leading a team. I'll be an accountant and grammarian. And let me introduce my team members now. First, timer. Today, the timer all is performed by my good friend Toastmaster Venkateshan. He works with a law firm, depending and where, and he was my colleague in depending. No, he is there, still working. I am not there. Okay, so he is a specialist in cyber domain name disputes, and he's a very hard worker, and as all millions know how he is improving his communication from every speech to speech. I request Toastmaster Venkateshan to explain the responsibilities as timer in today's meeting. Toastmaster Venkateshan, please. Yeah, he's here.
Sunil, there is some small change. Abhimanyu will be the timer because he was not able to do it. Abhimanyu will explain the timer. Sorry for that last minute change.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Abhimanyu, go ahead.
So, hello, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. A very good afternoon once again. So, I will be the timer for today. So, in the role of timer, I will time the two sections of speeches. Currently, we have 3 sections, and I will be timing the 2 sections of the speeches, that is prepared speeches and evaluation. So, I will allot each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red background color. I will also use a buzzer sound. I will just show a demo of the sound. So for today, for the prepared speeches are mostly 5 to 7 minutes, except the last speech, that is 8 to 10 minutes. So for the first 3 speeches, I will show green color at 5 minutes. I will change my background color to green at 5 minutes. I will change my background color to yellow at 6 minutes, and I will change my background color to red at 7 minutes. And for the last speech, that is 8 to 10 minutes, I will change my background color to green at 8 minutes, yellow at 9 minutes, and red at 10 minutes. And when I show it, every time I change the color, I will use this sound. I hope clear and loud. So every time I change my color, let's say green to yellow or yellow to red, I will hit this buzzer sound. And when the red color get appeared, the speaker would be having 30 seconds to complete their speech. And I will request all the speakers to pin my video frame in the Zoom application so that they get to know how much time they have left. Thanks, and over to you, G.
Thank you, Abhimanyu, and my apologies. That was a last minute, literally last minute, 2:55 dot. And Abhimanyu again, I know needs no introduction. He is the current Sergeant at Arms, and then he is also the Zoom master and the apt person to do the timing role today. So let's move on to the next role. The next role is our counter's role. The accountant role, today's accountant is Atishay Jain. He's a very recent, you have to say it's less than 2 months, recent Toastmaster and a person who loves to work out and go trekking. Atishay hails from Agra and is a data science engineer at VSAT. I request Atishay to explain his responsibilities as accountant in today's meeting. Atishay, over to you.
Thank you, DTM Sunil. Hi everyone. Happy Independence Day to all the Midlands and guests. I'll be the our counter for today. My role includes noticing and noting down the filler words, usage of filler words, repeated words, and other words or phrases that are used by crutches by speakers during their speeches. At the end of the meeting, when called upon by the Toastmaster of the day, I'll be showing my results in an Excel sheet so that all of us can learn from the mistakes we make. Thank you. Over to you, DTM Sunil.
Thank you, Atishay, for that one small and crisp introduction about your role. Now let's move on to the next role player and very important role player, grammarian of the day. Our grammarian of the day is DTM Guru Prasad, my good friend. I think again, somebody said, okay, I used to say no introduction is needed because I don't have words, I don't have introduction. It's not like that. He actually doesn't need an introduction. Our past president, and several time winner in our in several stages of contest. Is a very humorous person, and more than that, he is a ardent fan of Talevar Rajnikant. I would like to welcome DTM Guru Prasad to explain his role as a grammarian today. Over to you, Guru Prasad.
Vande Mataram. Welcome all to Medley 583. I'm very glad to be playing the role of grammarian, the role that I like very much in a Toastmasters meeting. So the grammarian role is basically a fantastic listening and learning role in Toastmasters. You keep observing to the speeches given by every member in the meeting, right from the speakers, the role players, everyone, and keep observing the good usage of language, and through which they provide a lot of learnings to the users. And also with whatever amount of knowledge the grammarian has, he will be also able to identify scope of improvement in some of the usage by some speaker. In the end, as a grammarian, I'll be providing my report on all my observations on good usage, as well as my observations on where the language or the usage of certain words or phrases could be improved. Adding to that, there is also an exciting, surprising element that the grammarian always provides, which is called as, well, I'd like to take a few minutes extra in this role. In my previous work, around 10 years ago, I visited a particular client for giving a sales demo on a particular technology solution that we're having. So prior to that, I had connected with the safety manager of the plant and understood what are their current problems, where they said they want to improve the safety of employees in the plant. So I had prepared all my presentation, explanation about the technology that we are going to implement in terms of improving the safety of the company. I'm ready. I go there. I sit before the senior executives of the company. Before I am about to begin, the CEO of the company gives an opening statement saying he's more interested in bringing a change into his employees, because most of the employees are more than 25 years experience in the company. So he is interested in making them get used to or accept the change that we are bringing in the form of improvement in the safety. He says, my focus is not on safety because my people are already aware of how to be safe. They have some process, but we are bringing an innovative way using your tools. So change is the word I am looking for. I was stumbled. I was not a Toastmaster at that period of time. All my preparation, my PPT, my speech, everything was based on technology and safety. And somehow I managed to deliver the same content, adding a few words here and there, but still that CEO was not much impressed. Ultimately, we did not even get an opportunity over there. So that day, that moment, a change in the word for that meeting, a change in the word for that day killed an opportunity for me and my company. And I feel guilty as a person solely responsible for that failure. That is why Toastmasters recognizes that a good speaker, a communicator, should be prepared for any surprise that comes in the form of audience perception or the context of the meeting, everything. We introduce a surprise element called word of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not to add some fun or some grammarian to count the number of times you use the word. It is for you to understand what is the sudden context of this meeting and how you can align your content, your message, your speech with that context. We introduce an interesting element called word of the day. And today's word of the day, as you see, is harmony. You're familiar with the word harmony? Of course, it predominantly means a musical sound made by different notes played by same note played by different instrument or different notes played at the same time. On the contrary, it also means in a social setup, people are peaceful and live together, agree with each other in spite of their individual differences and suppressions. I think being the day of independence in a country which focuses on unity in diversity, this is the word that we should all focus on to grow ourselves as well as this country. So harmony is the word of the day for you today. An example given in the same slide is, imagine a society where everyone lived together in perfect harmony. I encourage all the speakers, role players, everybody grabs the mic in today's meeting to somehow include this word in your speeches. and bring in harmony to this meeting. Thank you very much, and over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you,
I will
DPM.
much appreciate if the word of the day and theme are displayed. The theme of the day and word of the day may be displayed. Yes. Theme of the day and word of the day may
I am
kindly
displaying
be
the word of the day on the
displayed.
screen, sir. Actually, it is always available in my background. You can zoom in my photograph. You will be always seeing the word of the day in my background.
The harmony is the word of the day.
Harmony is the word of the day.
Harmony. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
And theme.
Yes.
Theme. Theme.
Thank you.
TMOD. Theme. No theme.
One voice.
Sir, he'll come
Okay.
back. Sir, he'll come
Thanks,
back.
General Evaluator.
One
Yeah.
voice
Theme for
is the
the
theme of the
day.
day. One
The
voice.
theme for the day is one voice. One voice. It has been given in several posters and in the last 1 week or so.
All right.
So, one voice. ONVOIC, one voice. Thank you, General Evaluator, for bringing in the hawk's eyes and bat ears that are going to do the evaluator's job today, and more will come in the next session also. Now, talking about teams, like a nation is a team of people. Toastmasters meeting is a team of people. Everywhere there's a group of people. Teams are successful. Many, why? But act as a real team. Multiplicity of ideas. Different things, and thinking what they are saying is the only thing and the right thing. So there is no agreement arising out of such a confusing environment of a team. How to make it successful? What is the solution? The solution is what the leader should do. He should ensure harmony. He should ensure cohesion, consultation, and end up in consensus. Though there are many ideas, the best ideas come up on the top and a consensus is reached. Even if the consensus idea is not the one I advocated in the beginning, I still go with that because the team has one voice. Multiplicity of ideas, but one voice. Then the team succeeds. Friends, let us now move to the prepared speeches session. The first speaker today is Toastmaster Surya. He is a freelance recruiter even during his teenage, at the end of his schooling career, and became an HR man. Chose that itself as a career after doing UG and PG. He joined Toastmasters 3 years back, and as many of us know, he concentrated a lot on the leadership activities. And now he says he is going to put in more effort on the communication side to improve his communication skills. Toastmaster Surya is giving the project Level 1, Project 2 in Innovative Planning. The project title is Evaluation and Feedback. The evaluator for this speech will be Toastmaster Farviz Imamuddin. May I request him the purpose statements for this project. Toastmaster Imamuddin, please unmute yourself and join us.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Surya will be delivering his Level 1 Project 3. The purpose statements are: the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. So let me introduce the speaker and the speech. Toastmaster Surya K. Spot the blind spot. Spot the blind spot. Toastmaster Surya K.
Thank you, evaluator. May I just highlight that your volume is slightly on the lower side, the mic volume. Now,
Okay.
Toastmaster Surya's speech title is Spot the Blind Spot, as already mentioned. I would ask Toastmaster Surya, is it good tips for the car drivers? Toastmaster Surya, are you good tips for the car drivers?
No, sir, I couldn't. Your voice is breaking, actually.
Are you giving tips for the car driver, seeing the title of your speech?
Yes, I used to.
Okay, thank you. Let us welcome Toastmaster Surya with a round of applause so that he delivers his speech. 5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer.
Hope I'm audible and screen is visible as well.
Common words would be internet knowledge, a bald guy with some specs, something like that. Do you think so?
Am I audible and visible? My screen?
But there is another part of research as well, which is
yes, Surya, but it is not in presentation mode.
Abstract thoughts into a
Toastmasters, am I audible and are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, Surya.
Yes, Surya.
Yes, Surya.
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Surya, we can hear you, we can see your screen.
Are you able to see my screen?
So, Surya, you are much audible. You are able to see your screen.
I'm sorry. My
Surya, can you hear us? Surya,
yeah. Sorry. Three months back, I joined an organization as a HR. In the month of July, I was asked to go to office to complete an exit formality for an employee. I went, completed, and returned back. The next day, I received a call from my boss. She said, Surya, I received a complaint from you, on you, stating that you were so rude to that employee who came yesterday. I got upset after hearing that because I felt that it is an unfair assumption. Have you ever been blindly judged by the people around you like this? How did that feel to you? If you feel bad, here is a heuristic exercise which helps in identifying your blind spots. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Happy Independence Day. Today I'm going to speak about an interesting technique which helps in illustrating, increasing the self-awareness and mutual understanding between the people among the group. It is an interesting application called Johari window. And it was invented by psychologists named Joseph Luft and Harrington Ingham. It was one of the useful models which describes human interaction into a 4-pane window which has 4 different quadrants. Each quadrant states different personalities. Here you go. The first quadrant is called as a free activity, which has the information known by self and known to others. The quadrant 2 is basically called as hidden self. It is the information which known to the person himself and kept hidden, not disclosed to other people. The quadrant 3 is called as the blind spot. This has the information which is known to the other persons and but not known to the person himself. And this is the pain area in which every single individual has to focus on, and thus reducing the blind spots. And fourth and final quadrant is an unknown area. This is basically has some information which is unknown to the person himself and the person around him. And these could be uncovered by self-discovery. So with this, I did a small research where I shared some 15 adjectives to 6 different respondents. And these respondents are from our very own Medley Toastmasters Club. And these were the 15 adjectives. And I told them to choose 5 adjectives which would best suit my personality. And here you go with the results. The first quadrant, the open area, shows the adjectives that were chosen by my respondents and as well as myself. And these are all some qualities or traits that they feel that I have. Quadrant 2, basically this is an adjective which was chosen by me but not by the respondents. But since this is not so personal to me, I'm just sharing this adjective to you. And being a respondent, being an individual, if you feel this particular information not to be disclosed, you can always hide this from showing it to anyone. Since this I've showed it to you, we can move this to the area of free activity, which is called the first quadrant. Now comes the third quadrant. Here is the adjective that was chosen by a couple of respondents and was not chosen by me. When I asked one of the respondents the reason behind choosing this adjective, they said they felt during my term as an ex-con, as a VP, they felt many times I was a bit tense and nervous when my fellow ex-com members were not there in the meeting, when I was running the meeting separately. Fourth and final quadrant. Let's move on.
We can hear you.
We can't hear you, Surya.
Hello, Surya, we couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Surya, may I suggest, I think we could do it the next time around because you've lost time already. Can we please move on to the second speech, please? Thank you. Doctor, please.
Technology has made the blind spot into a deaf spot also. It's unfortunate we could not complete it, but let us move on. The second speaker today is John V. Jayakumar. He's the founders and CEO of Superposition Technologies Private Limited. Earlier, he worked with Verizon, a Fortune 100 company. He is passionate about wildlife photography. He used to bring his camera to our meetings earlier. Now, he is doing Presentation Mastery Path Level 3, Elective 2, Inspire Your Audience. May I request his speech evaluator, project evaluator, DTM SK Brilliant, to read out the purpose statements from the manual. DTM Brilliant, please unmute yourself and join us.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, dignitaries and guests. May harmony be with all of us. John is presenting his Presentation Mastery Level number 3, Elective 2, Inspire Your Audience. The purpose statement, general purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and deliver a speech that inspires others. Specific purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. Timer, please note the time allocated is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, John, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, evaluator. Today, John's speech title is John V. Jayakumar's Value System. It shows you don't have to wait till you are 60 years to talk about your value system. Even at a much younger age, you can talk. Toastmaster John, can you name one value which is most needed for a free nation of free people?
DTM Sampath, it's not one. Give me a minute. I will give you 9 values that you can use.
No.
Coming on its way.
I want the most important one value.
I will pick it at the very end. Let me finish my 9 values
Okay,
and then I'll tell you. Sure.
Thank you. Please proceed with your speech. Friends, please applaud him. Speech
Thank you
time
so
is
much.
5 to 7 minutes, Mr. Timer.
Yeah, before we start the timer, Abhimanyu, can you add me as the co-host so I can start sharing my screen?
Raghunath, can you do it? He's the host now.
Raghu, you need to right click on my name and say add as co-host.
It's done, John.
Yeah, thank you. Slide is coming up. So this Zoom has a new feature now where I can set the presentation as my background. So I just want to make sure that comes up. So are you all able to see the presentation and me as well? Can you give me a thumbs up? All right, great. And all of you are able to hear me, okay? My audio is, all right. Thank you so much. Good evening, Medley. Wishing you all a very happy Independence Day. So today I'm going to walk you through my value system. Let me first start by telling you what a value system is. It is a set of values to which we hold ourselves accountable, right? It's like the yardstick to life. Every time you have to make a decision, what do you base it on? So as Sampath alluded, you don't have to wait till you retire to have a value system in place. So this is something that you need to have it when you start your career itself. So to give you my background, I was born to a very, humble middle class, poor parents. They both of them were teachers in a government school, a hand to mouth existence. But what I learned from them, the inspiration that they gave me is like the values with which they led their lives. And that is how I got to imbibe these values. So I'm trying to tell you what my value system is so that you would be able to pick up some of these which might be applicable to you as well. So let's move on. Coming up, the first value system is personal accountability. So all of you know how to type in the chat. Here's a question coming up for all of you. Do you think your life is driven by destiny or it is driven by the actions you take? Just type the word destiny if you think, it's like a superpower is running the whole thing. Type action if you believe that, what you do decides. Okay. Sampath says actions, Madhuri action, Siva action, Venkatesan actions. Okay, so all of you believe that it is action. So here's what I learned, in my life, and then what is it that I look at is, it's like a 50-50, okay? So where I was born, which school did I go to? Who are my neighbors when I was a child? When I step out of my home today, who are the people I'm going to run into? When I'm driving my car on the road, which are the cars that will come opposite to me and how good a driver are they? None of these are in my control. So that's the 50%. The other 50% is when I wake up in the morning till I hit the bed, every time I have to make choices, right? What do I do? Who do I talk to? How do I spend my time? That is completely in my control. And if I am taking that into accountability, my accountability, and I do the right things, I am deciding what my destiny will be 6 months from now, 1 year from now. So the decisions I took maybe 4 or 5 years ago has brought me where I am today. And the decisions that I take today will decide where I will be 3 or 4 years down the line, right? So coming upon value number 2 is to be a lifelong student. So there is this famous saying from Tamil poet Avvaiyar, "Kattrathu kaiman alavu, kalladhathu ulagalavu." This quote is actually written in NASA as well. So it means that what we have learned is like the grains of sand which can fit inside the palm of your hand. But what you are yet to learn is like a mighty ocean. So when this pandemic hit us, right, I was part of the last XCOM team, Sugandhi, me and all the others. We were thinking, hey, there is a lockdown. What do we do, right? So I stepped in and said, hey, let us try out Zoom. Now, today you have a lot of manuals that says, how do you run a meeting, in online and all that. But we were one of the first clubs that took the meeting to an online format, keeping the structure intact. Your timer, your hour counter, everything is there. We moved it, right? So this is what happens. Now, I'm not trying to brag here. What I'm trying to tell you is, you be an open book and you be a learner. Always think that you are empty. You don't know anything. Try to learn as much as possible as you go in your life. Okay. Coming up at number 3 is universal love. So see, we are all from different religions, different castes, different communities, different social status. But as human beings, we are all one. So when we enlarge our boundaries, I think the world, reciprocates to us in a much better way, is what I learned from my personal experience. So irrespective of our differences, I think let's treat each other, as human beings and share the same love that we share with our inner circle. Coming up at number 4 is to be an action taker, right? So this is something that I've been always struggling with. Procrastination, right? Should I do it today? Can I do this tomorrow? Should I do the whole thing now? Can I, take some time and then do this stuff and then, come back here? So all these things goes in our mind. But what I learned is, when you want to move forward, just get the thing done. Be an action taker, which, helps you a lot in your life. The next one is contribution to society. So in any small way possible, be it time, be it money, be it knowledge, let's try to give back to society. When all of us give back in a small way, this makes the society a much better place to live in. The next one is earn more, give more. So this notion that being rich is bad, that is a blocker for many of us to, earn wealth. So think like this. You want to earn a lot of wealth, but the reason why you want to earn wealth is because you want to help a lot of people. So when you want to earn more and give more, and automatically, you know, wealth starts flowing into you. The next one is to be ambitious. Don't be complacent with where you are. Try to set the next level and then, you know, move up in your life. So be ambitious, set goals, and then go for it. The next one is your overall growth. So your body, mind, and soul. Make sure that all the three aspects we are growing at the same time, because all three working together in unison makes us a much better person. And last but not the least, it is empathy. So this is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, treating them the same way that you would like them to treat you. Now, to summarize, these are the 9 values that I have. Personal accountability, lifelong student, universal love, action taker, contribution to society, earn more, give more, ambitious, overall growth, empathy. I hope you will take some of these values into your own life and then grow as a person. Thank you so much, one and all. Over to you, Toastmaster for the day.
Thank you. The speaker number 3 is Dr. Dharmaneshwar. He wants to be introduced as a striving researcher and an enthusiastic learner who wishes to live every moment of life. I empathize with him. You may know why. Researchers are poor chaps. Engaging humor is the part. Level 2, project 1, know your sense of humor is the project. May I request the evaluator of the speech, Toastmaster Saravanan, to read out the purpose statements from the manual. Toastmaster Saravanan, please unmute yourself and join us.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of this project is to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. Toastmaster Ishwar will engage us for 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Ishwar. Over to the team, Odi.
Thank you very much. The speech title is A Researcher and His Life of Communication. I don't want to ask him any question, because if you give a question to a researcher, he will do another PhD on that. So let us straight away invite Toastmaster Dharmaneshwar to deliver a speech 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Team Woody. Thank you for your warm welcome. So good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Whenever you hear the word researcher, what words typically pop up in your mind? Any response from participants? Researchers, scientists, what words typically pop up in your mind?
R&D.
Marketing person?
R&D. R&D.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That is, apart from that, in a
subject matter expert.
Yes, yes. So intellect, an expert, a technological guy, and of course our TM Moody Sampath has said like poor chap. That is also, we can add it to the so you can
socially uncooked.
Yeah, yeah. So you can imagine like a typically bald guy with the specs and always thinking some geeky thoughts. So the hardest part of life, what is there in the researcher, is the communication. How he has to transform his abstract thoughts into in a simple, in an expressible manner to convince a layman, basically a CEO or a CTO of some other company to fund him. So this is where this communication plays a critical role. And I am going to share my experience or my slice of life where I failed in communication, or where the communication plays a crucial part or a critical part in my life. So to share this, I would like to take this as an analogous to the process of making biryani. So right now, everyone will be either had biryani or they will be having a year to have a good amount of biryani right now, because this is an afternoon. So what is the first step in making biryani? What we will do? It's simple, like we will be cooking rice, right? We'll take a good amount of rice, we'll put it in a boiled water and we'll make it up. So we'll make the rice. In similar way, the first step in the research life is identify the problem, get some results. Like what TM Moody said, researchers are poor chaps, because here they have to identify the problem and they have to get some good results out of that. So this is pretty much not so difficult. with the advent of Google, and we have our reviews from our advisors, from our guide. So this is pretty much easy. Like we can take like cooking a rice. Now the next step is, once we have the result, it's like one voice from our mind says, yes, we are ready. Let's go and publish our research. That's the next step, right? We have to communicate our results. So that's where the publication comes into our mind. So I did whatever, I collected the results. I just put it in the article. Then the next part is serving it to the advisor. Now we have our biryani ready. I put all the vegetables, I put all the spices. Then the next step is we have to serve it to the advisor. So I went to my advisor, I gave my biryani. That is a soft copy of my manuscript to it. So it is really hard to get it. Just like our first time cook will never get someone to eat, make someone to eat fast. But I really got someone. I got my advisor, I gave it to him. And he started looking at my manuscript. I was looking at him like this. And a few minutes left. And the first question he asked is this a manuscript? Like, is this a biryani? I said, and then I peeped into his window. Did I give a wrong manuscript or wrong document? I just peeped into his monitor. I said, no, this is a manuscript. I did everything here only. That's it. For the next half an hour, there was a severe blasting. For first 5 minutes, I was like defending myself. I said, yeah, this is the one. I did everything. You can see the result. Then after that, I didn't say anything. My eyes are open, but my mind is off. For the next half an hour, I was just sitting like this without any argument. I was just listening his blastings. Then I got the manuscript. Then I went to my place. It's like we have our biryani, and I'm just looking at my biryani, or like an artist is looking at his failed painting. I was looking at my manuscript with some different views, like right hand side, left hand side. I was trying to see what is the view or what is this manuscript meant for. And some jargon words came into my mind. My advisor said like linear writing. There's something called tight writing, and you have to have an artistic touch to your plots. I don't know what is artistic touch, what is linear writing. I just asked my friend, my colleague, Bhaiya, what is linear writing, Bhaiya? He said like, you are going from Chennai to Kanyakumari. You have a route. Similarly, your manuscript must have a route. I was like, from Mylapore to Velachery itself, I need Google Map, man. Where will I find a route for my novel research? I don't know. How will I get a route for my manuscript to write it? I was flabbergasted. Things are not in harmony, to be honest. Nothing is there. Then I asked him again, where will I find the route for my manuscript? He said, go and sleep. You will get something in your sleep. That is the route. I slept. Nothing popped up in my head. Only one thing popped up. Researchers are poor chaps, basically. And I don't know why. I can't go and ask my guide also. So things completely off at that moment. Then again, one thing popped up finally. One paragraph he appreciated. Out of half an hour blasting, he appreciated only one paragraph. I just juggled to the paragraph. I found that. What is that? I have a good starting. I have something in the middle and something I ended. Something was convincing at that paragraph. Then things are getting in sync. Things are going into a perfect harmony. One thing is that I organized my thoughts. Then I put up in a flowchart that is in an expressible format. And finally, slowly, I built my manuscript. This is like going through different blocks and several things, and finally made a good aroma of biryani. And finally, I took that manuscript, that biryani, to my advisor, and I served to him. He smelled it. He went through the manuscript fully. That's a clear sweep. Nothing is problematic. Everything is in sync. But finally, this time I made a mistake in the side dish. I didn't cite other authors' work properly. So again, the researcher life is at pain. That time again I got blasting. So this time the mistake is on side dish. So guys, a researcher life, although it's intellectual, there is always another part which is a communication where we always need to improve upon, and I'm still improving. Thank you, TMP. Thank you for your opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Ishwar. The fourth speaker today is Toastmaster Dinesh. He's an MBA working with a construction company in Solingen-Allur. He's been a Toastmaster for the past 2 years. He's one of the regular attendees, I find, even in these not having rules, which is not very common nowadays. The dynamic leadership is the path. Level 5, lead in any situation. It's a very interesting project. The speech will be 8 to 10 minutes. The project and the speech will be evaluated by DTM Sheikh Shakil Anjum. May I request DTM Sheikh Shakil Anjum to read the purpose statements of the project and speech as given in the manual. DTM Sheikh, please join us after
Good afternoon, Mr. Toastmaster.
Good
Fellow
afternoon.
Toastmasters, honorable guest, and especially to Toastmaster Dinesh, who is attempting this project, which is of 8 to 10 minutes. Timer, please note down. The title of this speech is Three Musketeers, and he has been attempting the lead in any situation, a project from level 5 of dynamic leadership. The purpose statement of this project is for the member to apply skills needed to successfully lead in a voluntary or other organization, and also to share some aspect of his or her experience as a leader and or impact of the 360-degree evaluation. Remember, our speaker has already completed a project of 6 months. So, all the best to Toastmaster Dinesh, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Toastmaster Dinesh project title, as is told already, is Three Musketeers. Most of you will be aware it's a very jolly good novel written by Victor Hugo. I have read it a few times and I have seen at least 2 different versions of movies made on that. Though the title says Three Musketeers, if you have seen the movie or the book, there is a 4th person, D'Artagnan. So today's D'Artagnan is Toastmaster Dinesh. He is here to introduce his 3 friends. Please welcome him by applauding. 8 to 10 minutes, Mr. Timer.
Thank you, DTM Sampath sir, for the warm welcome. A survey reveals that nearly 80% of millennials don't have any leadership skill. You can count me as well. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests, and a happy Independence Day to everyone. I would usually wonder why people take up organization roles in community clubs like Toastmasters or Rotaries and other clubs. They are not paying any money, and also it may have a conflict with one's own personal missions and statement. I used to think for a very long time, but it changed rapidly. I would like to share my screen in a moment. Yeah. I would like to reignite our members. Yeah. Our members' memory. This was in June 2019 when the club elections were going to happen. At that point of time, I wasn't really interested in being part of the EXCOM. Our current area director and then immediate past president, Toastmaster Ram Prasad, told me to be as treasurer. So I took up the role. And I was very warm and welcomed by stalwarts like DTM Sundaraman sir, he was the president, and also our current president, DTM Thomas sir was the secretary then. We had John and Doctor as well in the club. During this time, I learned so much that my initial apprehension to join a community club became turned into vigor, and I wanted to become part of the next EXCOM club for sure because I learned so much. And so during the next term, I became a member again. This time, Suganti was the president, and we had Thomas sir as the VPE, as you all know. This was the time during Corona, and during Corona when we transited from physical meeting to online meeting, as we all know. The role of the treasurer is actually one of the simplest roles in the EXCOM. You just have 3 main basic activities. The first is you have to book hall. You should never make any mistake in that. Number 1 is very important. Number 2, you have to take care of the online account. And number 3 is that you have to make the TMI payment. Of all this, the number 1 is very important. You remember, you have to book the hall on time. And this path requires me to send a 360-degree questionnaire. This questionnaire has 23 questions in 8 subsections. All these questions were in leadership and communication path only. So I sent this all to my EXCOM members and my Toastmasters. And the feedback I got was that in my leadership thing, I got 3.5 out of 5. Similarly, for communication, I got 4 out of 5, prioritization 4 out of 5, and team building 3 out of 5. Toastmasters, as you all know, they are very, very magnanimous. They are very kind-hearted, and they give a lot of marks as well. And I'm sure my XCOM members and Toastmasters also did the same. And similarly, for problem solving, motivation, reliability, they gave me very high score and little less for prioritization. Thereby, taking this 360-degree test, I came to know much more about myself. What are the good aspects and the bad aspects of myself? For example, on prioritization and motivation and team building, I got very less score. I can really accept it because when other XCOM members helped me when I needed their help, but I wasn't right there when they needed their help, I can definitely tell them. So that's why perhaps I got that low score, even though they were being magnanimous in nature. Now coming back, I want to reignite the memory of another one of our meetings which we held. This meeting was held at Wandering Artist at Puram. This was on 28th October 2019. Initially, this meeting actually had to happen at Gandhinagar Club. Just 2 days before the meeting on Thursday, I was called by the manager of Gandhinagar Club. Hello, is this Dinesh? Yes, sir, Dinesh speaking. Hi, Dinesh. I'm sorry to inform you that your meeting has been cancelled for Saturday. We are conducting a renovation, so please have your meeting somewhere else. I was startled on hearing it. I told him, sir, what is this? You're insisting on such 2 days' time? How can I find a good hall in 2 days' time? Please do the renovation some other time. It's not as if the roof had fallen. I'm sorry, Dinesh, and he cut the call. I didn't know what to do. As per standard operating procedure, I called upon the next Trisha, not actress Trisha, but the booking manager in IITM, a next hall. I called her up. Hello, Trisha. Is the booking hall available in IITM? Any hall, no matter how small it is. Kindly just book it. Wait a minute, Dinesh. I'll check in my PC. As she was checking her PC, I prayed upon every god I have seen. Please let some hall be at IITM. Let me be spared of the embarrassment of not holding a meeting. And then she took up the call and said, sorry, Dinesh, all the halls are booked. And she cut the call. I was taken aback. I felt like it fell for me like MS Dhoni got out when the run rate was over 10 runs an over. I didn't know what to do. To my embarrassment, I called my then president, DTM Sundaraman sir, and I informed him of the situation. He was very supportive in nature, and he told me, and he also told me, Dinesh, try some other halls. So I called upon each and every hall in Adyar and its surrounding for like 1 day. That night, I didn't even have sleep, to be honest. And as I was searching on the internet, I finally found a hall, this Wandering Artist at Puram. It is somewhere near Adyar, and it was very, very easy for members to come. So I called upon them and asked, hello, is this Wandering Artist? Can I book a hall this Saturday? They said yes. As the moment they said yes, I felt as if now if I tested for corona and I got negative, like that kind of relief I had. Thank God. Thank you very much, madam. And then I asked, how much is the rate? It's 3,000 per day, sir. 3,000? We usually pay only 2,000 for the entire medium. Kindly reduce it drastically, madam. Kindly keep it to 2,000. And as we negotiated a lot, finally we settled at 2,250 per hour, including the projector. That point of time, I improved my negotiation skills. I was actually incidentally doing my project on negotiation and dynamic leadership at that point of time. I could recommend some aspects on my project on that point of time. And as it well, the meeting went on okay. Especially the only negative I got was that it was the second floor, and also the stairs were a little spiral in nature, and it was very difficult to climb. After there's a statement in Murphy's Law which says that if something has to go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. And thereby we have to maintain alternatives and always be optimistic that something good will happen. And thereby I became better at became crisis management. And the second is, as I already mentioned, the part of negotiation. If it was me before, I would have just said 3,000, I'm fine, okay. But I negotiated and I brought it down to 2,250 because of the skills I could learn in Toastmasters. And finally, team spirit. Famous businessman, he says that the beginning and the success is always intermittent upon the team spirit and how much we build upon members on it. In the XCOM meetings and everything, there's always a team spirit. Even after the meeting is over, no one in the XCOM actually called me and told, hey, the meeting location was very bad. this meeting hall is there, you could have asked me, or no one like that. They were all very, very supportive in nature. And I remember even the current president, Thomas, he helped me a lot with the snacks at that point of time. I do hope he remembers it. And everyone chipped in at the XCOM at point of time. This is what something we have to learn about. And I conclude by saying that all the new members to be part of to take upon XCOM roles and to take upon organization roles in community clubs. This is not what I say. This is what Dale Carnegie mentions in his book, as you say. So take upon roles and be a better communicator and better leader. Over to you, TMOD, Sampath Savirajan, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. So the fourth musketeer is MS Dhoni and Dinesh in this case. Friends, I will tell you about an ideal institution, a model institution when it comes to freedom. I'm talking about Toastmasters. Very few rules. Please renew your membership. That is the only rule. The time is there already, the membership renewal has started. Very few rules and some guidelines. Voila. You're totally free to do what you want. Even the taboo and the ground rules we say we are making for ourselves. It's all self-imposed rules. Nothing is imposed from elsewhere. You can do it in your own pace, in your own way, no exams, nothing. And now with pathways, you can even choose your own curriculum. The miracle works. The miracle of Toastmaster works and it keeps propagating and lasting. You know why? Because of mutual support. Many ideas, many styles, but one voice. The voice for learning, the voice for progress. The voluntary members have this one voice, and this makes a Toastmasters a very successful movement. Now let us come to a very interesting session, a table topic session, which is today called the round robin, probably in order to give more people a chance to speak on this special occasion. Today's topic master is Toastmaster Narasimhan. He is a Toastmaster with Medley since March 2019. A very sincere and serious person. I remember his first essay as a Toastmaster of the day. He works for Cognizant. And I also came to know from his speeches that he is an avid reader and a serious thinker. Let us welcome our table topic master, Narasimhan, with a thundering round of applause.
Thank you, DTM Sampath Savirajan, also our Toastmaster for the day. Thank you very much for your kind words. First of all, a very good evening to one and all, guests and Medlians alike, and a very happy Independence Day to everyone. Today, we are going to have a slightly different session, as our TMOD pointed out. We are going to have a round robin session, as opposed to a table topics wherein everyone will be called and they'll be asked a question, you're supposed to give an answer. Today, we are just going to have one single question, and that is, please let us know your views, thoughts, experiences, and incidents that you've come across on the Independence Day. I repeat, please let us know your views, thoughts, experiences, and instances that you've come across on an Independence Day. It goes like this. You will be given 45 seconds to speak. I will time your speak. I'll call you, I'll time your speak. And then once you complete, or once 45 seconds are completed, I will interrupt your speech and then I'll move on to the next person. So this is how it's going to work. So my first speaker for the day is going to be our past area director, Krishna Kishore. Can I have Krishna Kishore, please?
Yeah, sure, Narasimhan.
Krishna Kishore, your time starts now. Please go ahead.
Okay. To share one of the experiences about the Independence Day, I recollect a conversation with one of my managers in 2014. I called him up and said like, hey Santosh, I'm relocating to UK and I would like to resign to my post in CGI. He said like, that's very good news. I was thinking to remove you from my team and glad that you are going away. That's nice. But I want your bank account details. I said like, why do you need that, Santosh? Every month I will transfer you some money. You go there and hire a British national as for something, whatever you want to do it. So I will pay you the...
Krishna Kishore, your time is up. So moving on to the next person, I would like to invite Toastmaster Sharanya. Toastmaster Sharanya. Sharanya, we are not able to hear you clearly. There's a lot of background noise.
So, can you go ahead with the next speaker?
Okay, fine, Sharanya. So the next speaker, can I have our previous member and guest for today, Janani Suri. Janani, are you there?
I request all the attendees to be alert and be ready. Let us not waste time.
Okay, moving on. Can I have Pranav Sudarshan? Can I have a member Pranav Sudarshan?
Yeah, Narasimhan.
Yeah. Pranav, are you there? Pranav, you're not able to hear you. Hello? Okay, we'll come back to you later, Pranav. Can I have Rohit, Toastmaster Rohit Madappa?
Rohit is not there.
Rohit is not there. Okay, can I have Toastmaster Sundaresan? Yes, sir, please go ahead. Good afternoon, please go ahead.
Hello, Toastmasters. Thanks for giving a chance for me on this auspicious day. Just going down my memory lane, last year by this time, my experience was in the Indian Association of Qatar within the community. I was invited as a chief guest. So it was little bit, even though as a Toastmaster, little bit I was nervous to speak in front of the public. So prepared nicely and went there. It went smoothly and I shared all the positive things about India. In the evening, when I went, it was our Toastmasters Club meeting where multinationals were there. So it was not that the same day I had the experience of Indian experience in the afternoon and in the evening with the multinational experience, because Toastmasters is the next person who is sitting will be a Pakistani or Egyptian.
Sir, your time is up.
Thank you, sir.
Your time is up. I would like to call upon guest Shruti.
Hello, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, Shruti. Yes, we are able to hear you. Please go ahead, Shruti. Your time starts now.
Okay, my most memorable Independence Day was when I was in 7th standard. We had this parades of sorts, parade being a very loose word. What happened was that one of us fell and like a pack of dominoes, all of us followed. After this, embarrassing event, later on we realized that it wasn't as embarrassing as, we later look upon and laugh at it. Then it was a dance event where everyone was dancing and we were looking like a bunch of tribals performing a dance. And we were also looking like monkeys wearing, a very bad dress because our teachers did not have, any kind of a proper dress sense. And at the end of the day, we did not realize that it would be
Thank you.
a memory.
Your time is up. I would like to call upon Thank you. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan. Ramesh.
Hey, hi. Thank you, Narasimhan.
Go ahead, please go ahead.
Okay, so fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, good evening. Looking at this topic, many of us in this session would have might have not experienced the freedom fighters, how they fought and bring us freedom for us. So I could see we actually we didn't go through that kind of a pain, but looking at the current situation, the coronavirus situation, I could visualize that the same kind of a pain, not able to go freely, and this kind of freedom, I could relate to that actually. How 100 years before we were actually like not having a full freedom, the same kind of experience we are also going through with this coronavirus. So I think in this situation, the need of the hour is we
Thank
need
you, Ramesh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mind and heart harmony. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. We now move on to Toastmaster Shiva, our new member. Toastmaster Shiva, over to you. Toastmaster Shiva, are you there?
Not available.
Okay. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shyamala.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, Shyamala, go ahead.
Okay, so I was in 12th standard and we had flag hoisting in our school, and my best friend's dad was in army and she called me up and she was like, let's go for flag hoisting, and I gave her some excuse and I told her I'll not be able to come. And I thought the problem will be she called everybody and gave us 2 hours lecture in the auditorium, blasting every one of us. And the point to be noted here is we were in 12th standard and we had a lot of lectures and all that. Still, she took 2 hours time out to tell us why it is important to go and attend the flag hoisting and feel that respect and pride for our country. And even till date, when I think about Independence Day flag
Shyamala, your
hoisting,
time is
I'm
up.
20 now, 3 years of college.
Shyamala, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you.
3
We would
years
now.
of college are done.
Yeah. Thank you, Shyamala. I would like to move on to guest Zakir Hussain.
Yeah. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Happy Independence Day. This day reminds me about 1947, 15th August, how it would have been there. And when I realized today, a lot of memories goes behind my mind, because I was one of the NCC cadet who did a lot of RD parades. I believe from the colonial moves, we have gone into a different kind of sets and policies and colonies. Still, we are not independent to express anything. Now we have to come out of these clutches of self-made clutches, or the clutches which is binding us our thought process. So Toastmaster is one of the area where we express a lot. I feel every Independence Day makes us to feel, yes, we should get independence from our own thinking and thought processes. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Zakir. Thanks a lot. Bang on time. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Lavanya, another new entrant into the Medley family. Toastmaster Lavanya, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Good evening, Toastmasters. What independence means to me as a woman? Independence is doing something without depending on others. For me, independence means to live a life the way I want to. I want to break the glass ceiling. I want to make my own choice. I want to be me, have my me time even after marriage and being a mother. I want to make my own mistakes and own them. I believe freedom means responsibility, and freedom is the will to be responsible for ourselves. A space for me will help me to maintain the harmony of the family, as family's harmony becomes country's harmony as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavanya. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sudha. Do we have Toastmaster Sudha?
Yeah, thank you,
Please go ahead.
Narasimhan sir. Last year we went to Andaman and we happened to see the Andaman cellular. There we happened to watch an audio. There we happened to watch the show that how the freedom fighters took the pain to gain that freedom. that moment, a question arises whether we use that freedom in an effective way. So that's all about my thought, Narasimhan sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Sudha. Next, I would like to call upon distinguished Toastmaster Jaikar. Sir, are you there? Toastmaster. Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Please go ahead, sir.
Well, my memories of Independence Day from childhood was the wonderful flag hoisting, the ceremonial, the parades, and the various contingents that I used to see. And today is the day now dedicated to a terrorist with destiny. You know what is terrorist? A terrorist actually means a secret love. Destiny means your future. And what is the terrorist with destiny that we have is universal love. May harmony prevail for years and generations to come. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Next, can we have Toastmaster Jagan? Multi-talented Jagan.
Yes, thank you, Narasimhan. Now,
Please
to
go
me,
ahead.
what it starts off with 1757, Battle of Plassey, and 1765, Battle of Buxar, and it goes till 1817, Paika Rebellion, 1857, the Sipahi Mutiny, 1885, Indian National Congress, 1905, Partition of Bengal, and then it comes 1919, Jallianwala Bagh. There is 1930 Civil Disobedience Movement, 1942 Quit India Movement, and 1945 there is Shimla Conference, 1947 Partition of India, and then the tryst with destiny. And to me, the experience of independence is to learn about it more and more, to understand what we have gone through from 1757 to 1947, and even before that, what are all our thought processes, how have our ancestors been. And that is what the experience of independence to me, and it extends way beyond 1757.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Jagan. That was a crash course in history in less than, say, 30 seconds. I would like to move on to Toastmaster Lovely. Toastmaster Lovely. Toastmaster Lovely, are you there? Okay, moving on, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sendil Gogu. Sendil? Yes, Sendil, please go ahead.
Good evening, friends. One question comes to me quite often. We already got independence, but why every year we need to remember? What's the point? So later I got an answer from one of the newspaper article, that is, even before independence, India started its independence movement. There were several differences between people like caste, religion, color, language, but everybody united because they have a common goal. Maybe on this day we can have a takeaway, like if we want to unite, we need to have a common goal. So maybe we can work on that, and which we all can agree. So yeah, that's it. Over to you, Narasimhan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sendil. Next, I would like to call upon Dr. Alagappan. Is Doctor there? Dr. Alagappan. Okay, moving on. Can we have Toastmaster Priyadarshini?
Yes.
Yes, Priya.
Yeah. So whenever we watch the news channel, it's really painful that when we see these fringe groups, who comes and fights when something goes wrong, disrupting the harmony of this nation, the message should be very clear to them that India is one of the largest democratic country in the world, and what independence stands for me is a feeling of oneness. Whenever we sing national anthem, it may be cricket stadium or in a theater, it always instills oneness in us. So for me, it is very clear, and I enjoy being one of the fastest growing nation in the world, and this Independence Day. Wishing you a very happy Independence Day.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Priya. Next, I would like to call upon guest Gopinath.
Hi, Narasimhan.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity. So, it's the important day for me because I got to know, there is a Toastmaster, where I improve my communication skill. So, since I got in so much of failure, when I'm speaking, so I found this Toastmaster, and surroundings are gave me an opportunity to join this club. So I would say this is the most important day, and this is the most memorable day for me. And for independence, I think in India every child should get a free education, so that they'll be able to achieve their life.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Gopinath. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Periyasamy. Periyasamy. Toastmaster Periyasamy, are you available? Okay. Next, I would like to call upon guest Kundavi. Can we have Toastmaster Ranga next?
Yes, Narasimhan.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
The year was 1992. I had just left the shores of India when I went to one of the Gulf countries. And on that particular Independence Day, it was really magnificent to enjoy the actual feeling of independence, where everywhere we saw Indian flags being draped across down the buildings and apartments. And more importantly, our eating places. They had served sweets for free, and they were continuously throughout the day, they were playing patriotic songs. I felt really at home, and each one of us were given a flag to adorn on our dress. So I felt that was the most memorable moment for me during independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranga. And that brings us to the end of the session. I hope all of you enjoyed the session as much as I did conducting it. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Narasimhan. Now, we have done the 2 sessions. We are now about to go on the feedback session. Let us bring back the General Evaluator DTM Sunil Jose to conduct the feedback session with a round of applause, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Dr. Sambasavari. Now let's begin the evaluation session. We have an array of experienced Toastmasters from national and international clubs to give a very good evaluation today. So the first evaluator is Toastmaster Fawaz Imamuddin, and he will be evaluating Toastmaster Surya's speech, Spot the Blind. And Toastmaster Fawaz is a visiting Toastmaster from Sri Lanka, and he is a communication specialist and a coach and director of a communication and leadership academy, Speak. He is also a former division champion in table topics and evaluation and international speech contest during 2016 and 17. Now, please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Fawaz to evaluate Toastmaster Surya's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunil. It's an absolute pleasure to evaluate Surya's speech. So to begin with, I just have to reiterate that, as all of you know, there were some technical difficulties. So Surya had to conclude his speech before the allocated time limit. So I will evaluate only what I was able to hear and see. So to begin with, let me start with the previous evaluations. The previous evaluation, what Surya had to work on was, importantly, the content. It says the content part needs a bit of work. And the structure, from what I heard, was so far good until it stopped. The content, it was about the blind spot. So he had a clear opening, and the structure was really good. So the content, he had done some work, but unfortunately, since I couldn't listen to his conclusion, I cannot give a complete feedback on that. Also, his clarity of speech and voice is also something that should be commendable. Saying that, let me just give a couple of suggestions. Surya, can you hear me? I hope you can hear
Yeah,
me.
I'm there. I'm there.
Okay, right. Let me give you a couple of suggestions on the areas of improvement. First, of course, there were a lot of technical issues to begin with. Initially, when you started, you couldn't hear the Toastmaster of the day. And even while your voice went offline, the Toastmaster of the day was giving you, trying to make it clear to you, but unfortunately you couldn't hear it. So maybe you should work on that. Make sure that your the technical aspects are really in order before you give the speech, since it's online. And also, I noticed that one of your hand was completely static throughout your speech. So that might affect how the audience perceive you. It might come out as lacking confidence. So make sure that you use both the hands. Also, I couldn't see the slides moving. You were using slides, but when you were explaining the conference, I couldn't see the slides moving. So since there was a lot of information, it was very, very difficult for me to digest what you said. Just to summarize, the content was good, clarity of voice and speech, really good. But please make sure that you improve on your technical aspects. Also your body language, your hands, please don't keep them static. And once again, if you're using slides, make them, you keep changing them for the audience convenience. Thank you, and all the best to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Sunil, since there was a technical difficulty, I suggest that Surya does this project again. So please make sure, Surya, the next time, the technical aspect is really in order. Thank you and all the best.
Sure.
Thank you, Toastmaster Furvis, that very useful evaluation. And now let's move to the second evaluator. Second evaluator is DTM Dr. Brilliant SK, and he will be evaluating Toastmaster John Jayakumar's speech titled John V. Jayakumar's Value System. Now, DTM Dr. Brilliant is a professional speaker and a trainer and a certified coach and facilitator. He is a member of Toastmasters for the last 12 years, and he has been recognized for chartering maximum clubs from 2014 to 16, and as a top club sponsor. A member of, he has been recognized, please put your hands together to welcome DTM Dr. Brilliant, who is also the first district director of District 98 and immediate past regional 13 advisor to evaluate Toastmaster John's speech.
Check, am I audible?
Yes.
John V. Jayakumar's value system. I was wondering, where is the speaker taking me and what is he going to talk about? Thank you, General Evaluator Sunil, Toastmasters and fellow guests. The speaker, gave a glimpse on the background of his family, and that was very interesting. I also got to know about the upbringing. Wonderful use of power statements and references all through the speech made the speaker project his values effectively. As an evaluator today for this speech, I would look at the 3 cues to check if this speech was in harmony to be an inspiring speech. The first E, the engagement quotient. The second, IQ, which is inspiration quotient, and U, the uniqueness quotient. As a speech evaluator, as a member in the audience, I felt the speaker had a very flat opening. He could have actually built up the curiosity and the connect with the audience by starting with a question, asking, what do values mean to you? Instead of going with what he was doing, this would have probably given him a different advantage. One of the elements and a requirement for an inspiring speech is to check if the speaker through speech is able to influence change in status quo, which I felt was a miss in the speech. There was the use of a PowerPoint presentation all through the session, which I felt could have been avoided. The speaker could have very well leveraged the fact that everyone in the audience could have seen his face and his presence effectively. What could the speaker have done differently? The speaker had 9 values. Now I look at it from a different angle, the power of 3, the power of 5. And when it comes to values, it is recommended, especially in corporates, to limit it to about 5 so that it is easy to remember. I would have loved if the speaker had given me an acronym to look at. For example, looking at what he mentioned, I would have said love, learner for life, ownership for growth, vision-based life, and empathy. Now remember, values as love, everyone will remember and members will have something to take back home. What I felt was unique about this speech, the uniqueness quotient in this, was there was a lot of effort and personal stories and inspiration that the speaker built to bring you the speech called John V. Jayakumar's value system. A very personal and powerful value system, I would say. However, I felt the speaker could deliver a well-written speech in spite of the challenges of the time limit of 7 minutes. If the speaker can look at improving and probably building a powerful quotient, that is the inspiration quotient, to create an opening which is powerful, connecting, and making sure that an acronym is built so that people can take back these values and implement it for their life references. The speaker has a lot of confidence, had made a lot of efforts to present it effectively, which meant the practice was there. A speech well delivered. I wish him all the best so that his EQ, IQ, and UQ remains in harmony. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. DTM, Dr. Brilliant. Thank you for your good feedbacks on the speech. Now let's move on to the third evaluator. The third evaluator is Toastmaster Saravanan Ponnuswamy, who is the current VP membership of our clubs. Let's give him a big round of applause for his and his team's incredible achievement by bringing Smedley Award to Medley once again during the last week. Now, TM Saravanan is an IT professional and with Ford. Within a short span of time after joining Toastmasters in Medley, he has proven himself through his speeches and his leadership skills. Please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Saravanan to evaluate Dr. Ishwar's wonderful speech, researcher and his life of communication.
Thank you, DTM Sunil. Mark Twain once mentioned, humor is mankind's greatest blessing. Today, in this Independence Day, we heard a humorous, self-deprecating story from Toastmaster Ishwar. Self-deprecating humor is very difficult, but Toastmaster Ishwar has taken it to a different level, laced with the aroma of biryani. As the speech is about humor, I have used humor as an acronym to evaluate his speech. H for harmony. The speech is a perfect harmony of how an abstract thought can be made into a deliverable through communication, which he felt is very difficult. It is a blend of all the main aspects of the speech. If you see, a speech has 3 main aspects. One is the framework. The next one is the element of what makes the speech, that is a humor element, and the succinct message, that is the value that is coming out of the speech. All these 3 have blended beautifully in his speech. U for understanding the audience. He immediately got the pulse of the audience by asking a question, and he obtained several good responses from the audience. That's a beautiful way of opening a speech. He has aced it. The speech is very meaningful and original. That is, the originality is what strikes a balance between his speech and the audience. It has a value to the audience on how to approach doctorate, because he's got this recent doctorate. So it is something like how to be very positive in terms of adversity. He brought that beautiful message, which is a value to the audience. M for the manner of speech. His speech has enthusiasm and assurance, showing interest in the audience and confidence in their reactions. He was able to see in the lens, that is the eye of the audience, and was able to speak beautifully about his speech. Oh, for opportunities. There are a couple of opportunities I can see. One is emotions expressions. See, for example, what if the advisor has not approved his total project itself? That means that's a failure and it will be a difficult thing for him. But in case if he has given some emotions and expressions on how he would have reacted, that would have brought in much more element in his speech. The second one opportunity is on the stand and deliver. What I see here is if he can bring his body language to the fore to support points through gestures and expressions, that would have been much better. So, or for recap, I would say like this is a well articulated speech, has good analogy, aroma of biryani, value to the audience. But if you could look at those opportunities of bringing the emotions and expressions and stand and deliver so that his body language to be brought into the core as such. So that would have been a brilliant speech. I am looking forward for his next speeches. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Saravanan. But that was again, as usual, it was one you are at your best today. Now we are moving to the fourth evaluator. Is DTM, Dr. Sheikh Shakil Anjum, and he will be evaluating TM Toastmaster Dinesh speech titled Three Musketeers. Now I should tell you, we have a competition here. We have Dr. DTM Brilliant, who completed, who is a 4-time DTM. Now, DTM Dr. Sheikh Anjum is a 5-time DTM. Now, he's a practicing doctor for 40 years, and he has completed his DTM 5 times. There is one more uniqueness, that 4 times it was under traditional education program, and 1 time it was under pathway program. He is from Toastmasters Club of Pune South District 98. Please put your hands together to welcome DTM Dr. Sheikh Shakil, who is also the Area Director of Division 03 to evaluate Toastmaster Dinesh's speech.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and especially my speaker, Toastmaster CJ Dinesh, a very good evening. And let me congratulate my speaker for his confidence, conversational style, and the compassion with which he has involved his role as a club officer to present his speech. Starting with the title, Three Musketeers. Initially, I was puzzled. I thought maybe he's speaking about 3 members or leaders or Toastmasters who may have affected his influence's life. But slowly, when he started saying 80% of the leaders didn't have the leadership skill, on the way they tried to gain it, and he's one of them. So humble to start. Congratulations for him. Now, as he went, he has chosen a subject which is very common, and especially on the platform wherein Toastmasters are, most of the audience, they understand the problems very as if it is, every person must have at some point must have undergone the same problem, and they have tried to deal it in their own way. So it was something, he has taken us back to our days as Sergeant at Arms or Treasurer or whatever person who is there in those days. So I must congratulate him. The other thing which I liked about him was his simplicity, and with the speech, if you have a presentation, really it is a very difficult thing to cope up both simultaneously. And he has done it with some slides which may have taken him and the audience of the club to those old days when he has faced the problem and has solved it. So congratulations, my dear Toastmaster. The best thing also, he has sprinkled humor at every step. Then he said with a pregnant pause, I'm not talking about the heroine. Then similarly, he said about MS Dhoni, example, how a person can feel. It has taken us very near to the situation. Now, he could have improved it, because we are not, most of the speeches are given on a virtual platform. So it is the facial expression, gestures, and the voice modulation that will be more effective in your speech. So I would request him to concentrate on these two elements more on the virtual platform, and simultaneously try to give the speech of this thing toward the end. He must remember that he should involve his facial gestures, his humor, continue with it, and the voice modulation. Whenever there is any problem, try to speak loudly, and when there is the problem is solved, go low. So this will help to make the speech more effective. Otherwise, congratulations, and back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, DTM Dr. Sheikh Shakil, for that evaluation. And now let's see. Now we have concluded the evaluation session. Timer, can we have the names of the qualified speakers? Are we having voting now? We are voting now.
No, not right now.
Okay.
All
Okay.
the
So
speakers are qualified and all the evaluators are also qualified.
okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the most important session of tag team reports. So today we first I would like to call upon our timer, who is also the Zoom master, Toastmaster Abhimanyu, to give his report on how we did our timing today.
So, all right, I will start with the first section, that's the prepared speeches. So the first Toastmaster Surya took 5 minutes and 27 seconds. After that, there was some connectivity issue and we kind of lost it. And then the second speaker, that is John Jayakumar, he took 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Then Toastmaster Eastward, he took 6 minutes and 8 seconds. And at the end, Toastmaster Dinesh, he took 8 minutes and 30 seconds. For the evaluation section, the first evaluator, that is Parveez Imamuddin, he took 3 minutes and 0 seconds. DTM Dr. Brilliant SK took 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And Toastmaster Sarvana took 3 minutes and 4 seconds. And at the end, DTM Dr. Sheikh Shakil Anjum took 3 minutes and 10 seconds. With this, over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhimanyu. Let's move on to the report from our accounter, Toastmaster Jane.
Yeah, thank
you there?
Yeah. Thank you,
okay.
GD Sunil. I would like to share my screen. So.
Okay.
And by the way, today's session was a very good one. I was trying hard to find people using filler words and words as crutches, but I was not able to find many. In fact, even the few that I did find out and the ones that I have noted, often it was used in places such as transitions or where it is natural, where a person was trying to read something from the screen. I'll go one by one. Talking about TM Abhimanyu's speech in the very beginning of the meeting, that was a clear speech. Then we had GE Sunil. He had a total of 3 violations, ahas and arms being most common. Again, these were when he was trying to transition from one person to the other. So I believe it is natural. Then TMOD Sampath, 4 total violations, most of them ahas, arms, ers. Coming up to Speaker 1 Surya, he had an almost clear speech for the part that we were able to hear before the technical glitch. Speaker 2 John, he had 1 violation, that was using like. Speaker 3 Ishwar, he had 3 violations. Twice he used the words and once he used like. Speaker Dinesh had a clear speech. Coming to the table topics session, table topics master Narsimhan had 6 total violations. But again, I would like to mention that most of these violations were when he was trying to introduce people or when he was trying to thank the speaker before. So one common phrase that he used a lot was thank you, and then he would go on to introduce the next speaker. Not a very big error, but I found that noting it would be helpful. Next, we had Toastmaster Krishna Kishore, 2 violations. Once he used and once Toastmaster Sundaresan, he used so. Guest Shruti, 1 violation, and she used the filler word which I believe was a problem with one more speaker in the table topic session. Then Toastmaster Ramesh, he used ours to fill gaps in his speech thrice. Toastmaster Shamla, guest Zakir, and Toastmaster Lavanya had clear speeches. Toastmaster Sudha had 4 violations, and so. Toastmaster Jaikar and Jagan, again clear speeches, congratulations. Toastmaster Senthil, 1 violation. Toastmasters Priyadarshini, 2 violations. Guest Gopinath, 8 violations. 4 times he used the words and once he used so. And other violations included and repeating a few words. Toastmaster Ranga, 1 violation using the word that vague sound. I could not make out. Coming up to the evaluators, Toastmaster Farveez, we had a total of 4 violations. Twice he used the words to fill gaps. Once he used and 1 repetition for the word it was. Like he said it was consecutively twice. So I noted that down. Toastmaster evaluator 2, brilliant, clear speech. Evaluator 3, Sarvanan, one usage of the word as filler. Evaluator 4, clear speech. Thank you very much, everyone. And I would like to mention again that a lot of these violations might not be very evident to the person speaking, to a listener in the general audience. However, since my job was to find out, like someone said in the very beginning, bats' eyes and bats' ears. So I was trying to find out even the smallest of the violations so that the speakers can learn and grow. Thank you. Over to General Evaluator Sunil.
Thank you, Toastmaster Atishay. You have done a commendable job today. This is what you're supposed to be your responsibility today. So I appreciate you. Now let's move on to the next report. There's a final report from grammarian. I invite DTM Guru Prasad to give the grammarian's report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. I really doubt whether I'm going to get the same words of appreciation as having done a commendable job, for the reason that for most period of this meeting, I was having technical issues in listening to the audio. Neither my headsets were working fine nor speakers. Somehow I managed by using both my mobile and laptop together in Zoom and try to capture as much as possible. However, I really enjoyed. I would say today's meeting was like a stream in the river after the floods were over. It was neither fearful as if it was during the days of flood, nor dry and running into small branches of water. It was a clear stream with uniform velocity. Neither too many sparklers, Queen's English or Shakespearean English, nor too many mistakes or too many wrong usages. I enjoyed today's session because I had less work to do. So coming to the word of the day, it was used almost 11 plus times, which is a good sign because all the 11 plus times it was not forced into their speech just because they wanted to use the word of the day. They casually it made sense in their phrases or in their sentences. The word harmony harmonized the whole meeting today, I would say. And a few good observations, few words that I liked today was words like eluded, complacent, triced with destiny. Triced is a very, very rarely used word. Only in poetic English it is used, but however, it's a very good word when being a speaker on the stage. It adds value to the comments you're making when you add words like this. Universal love, change in status quo, abstract thought, succinct message, well articulated. These are some, though they are very familiar to us, they made good sense in today's meeting. Also, I'd like to give a special mention on some of the words used by Lavanya, like me time. Freedom means we will be responsible to ourselves. I really like this phrase. In coming to Dr. Brilliant, the triad in the form of EQ, IQ, and UQ is really fantastic. We like your evaluations. Then Dr. Sheikh mentioning a triad, saying confidence, conversational style, and compassion, which is very, very important for a speaker. Point well received, not only to your target speakers, but to all of us in the Delhi Toastmasters Club. And last but not the least, we had one Toastmaster or DTM called Satish Kumar in our club earlier. And he used to be called as Ramana of Medley because of the obvious reason that he used to be like the Vijaykanth of Ramana, giving a lot of statistics. And I think he is retired now, and the award of new Ramana of Medley goes to, guess who it is? Toastmaster Jagan, for that fantastic rendering of the history of freedom fighting in India. I really appreciate, I don't know whether he had a prepared script in front of him or it just came out from him. I think you paid your tribute to Mother India today by recalling the entire history of freedom struggle and how we achieved it by mentioning every milestone event that led to 1947, and after 74 years, we sitting here celebrating it with a lot of pride and patriotism. Salute to you, Toastmaster Jagan, and over to you, General Evaluator. Sunil, you are on mute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought for a second, I thought I also lost after DTM Sundar Guru Prasad was telling that. Thank you for that harmonious report, DTM Guru Prasad. Let me give my report now. So we, as usual, we started on dot on time, 2:55. So we had more than 50 members in the beginning, former district leaders, and I think at one stage it went to 155 or something. So former contest champions, ex-Midlians. It was truly a medley of senior and new members and experienced members and members from different clubs from the country and outside the country. So I really appreciate it. It was a very memorable moment for me as a member of Medley Toastmasters Club. Very energizing opening by DTM Thomas as a presiding officer. And as usual, Toastmaster of the day, DTM Sauri's, DTM Sambat sir, was at his best, giving his experience and informative speech. Everything was reflected in his words today. And his question to every role player was unique. And unfortunately, I'm not used to give one word to any question as a lawyer. So that is how maybe we can take it outside the club, sir. It will take some time for me to give that answer. And again, 4 speakers, we had 4 speakers, brilliant speakers with showed the variety of thinking and thought process, variety of subjects. I really enjoyed all the 4 speeches with a totally different kind of thinking. Now, wonderful evaluations because we had experience of the lot of evaluators from outside our club. All of them are experienced and they're champions and multiple DTMs. So we were fortunate enough to get all these evaluators today. Kudos to the XCOM team to arrange so many experienced Toastmasters from outside the club. So we got a different perspective of evaluations. The tag team, again, I should say the tag team is one which I always say is the one of the pillars of a Toastmaster meeting, because that is from where the learning actually happens. The crutch words and all the repetitive words and grammar, everything. This is what we normally forget in speeches, and that is one that they have done their job very sincerely today. And they were instrumental in the big learning process which Toastmasters gives us. And then I should mention also the effort of Toastmaster Narasimhan in conducting that round robin league with his maximum loyalty and sincerity to conduct this within the time. I appreciate Toastmaster Narasimhan for that. Now, having said this, I have a few suggestions which we can incorporate. Maybe in the future we can bring it. Like, we had a change in the role in the last minute, the timer's role. It was actually, I was told that it was in 2:55, maybe after the meeting would have started. Then is an internal arrangement to inform this to GE before the general evaluator comes on stage is much appreciated. And the second thing was, sadly, we had a lot of technical glitches today. it was unfortunate, and even we lost one of the speeches on the halfway, Toastmaster Surya's speech. It's not usual. I don't know how it happened today, but it was really unfortunate. Then we can't do much about it. We can much more we can do, as one of the evaluators suggested, test and see if we are okay with our systems before entering the Zoom meeting room. And the round robin, though it was, I really appreciate it was a good effort, but I felt 45 seconds is very less to give some meaningful and concrete comments or views. Maybe 1 minute is suggested. I mean, this is my personal opinion. I felt many of the speakers started, but they could not complete even a sentence. So I suggest to give at least 1 minute to, I mean, for even if it's round robin, please give 1 minute time for an impromptu speech. I thoroughly enjoyed today's session. It was, and this is also going to be a Independence Day, which I am going to remember. When we celebrate this Independence Day, let's remember about all the leaders and fighters who gave their life and comfort to give us today the position where we are in. Wish you all a happy Independence Day, and give back the podium to Toastmaster of the Day, DTM Sambat Saurya.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Thanks to Zoom, we had a pan-Indian meet today on a special occasion of the Independence Day. People coming from many different places. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and as there's no voting or anything, and we are roughly 5 minutes behind, I straight away invite the President to take over.
Thank you very much, Doctor, and thank you, the accomplished evaluators, for joining a touch of talented Medlians to shape this brilliant meeting. Thank you all for your contributions. Thank you, dear Medlians. For the first time, 42 of us were present today out of a total membership of 54. Give yourself a one big hand and promise you will do the same every time. On your behalf, I believe it's in order for me to thank Toastmasters Rangarajan and Pranav for their perseverance, for their persuasion, for their patriotism, if I may. At the same time, I apologize on behalf of the collective time transgression that we have caused through some exuberance. I will try and make up. I'm also sorry that there have been some technical glitches as never before. And I must thank a couple of people, especially I must compliment Sergeant at Arms, come last moment timer, come always ready Zoom master Abhimanyu for his all-round dexterity. I must also congratulate Atishay for his maiden entry. It was the equivalent of taking 8 wickets. Well done, Atishay. Now, I would like to invite one voice from one guest, if I may. Is Mr. Rahul Thomas in? Mr. Rahul Thomas?
Yes, I'm in.
Could we hear you? What did you find today?
So yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm actually not Rahul Thomas. My name is Abhi Thomas. Yes, and yeah, I really wanted to join your club, your Toastmasters club, to improve my vocabulary and to improve basically on my fear of public speaking. So when I'm here looking at the fellow dignitaries that I've watched and witnessed, I saw that they had an apprehension first in initiating their speech, but as it went on, the fear subsides. So this is my observation from a very technical point of view. Sorry, sir, if you expected something very different. Yeah, so this is my general observation. I'm a very technical person, so I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. I must compliment you for a first-time visitor to be able to say what you did with such confidence. I must really compliment you. You are real Toastmaster material. Join us at the earliest. Time being short, allow me to move forward. As you would expect in a medley meeting, here is the surprise of the day. Let's now hear it from the only Medlian who personally welcomed independent India in 1947. The passionate, ever ready for a role, energetic, encyclopedic Toastmaster Tyagarajan would like to recall for us Madras of the 1940s. Toastmaster Tyagarajan, please, all yours. We will shortly have the voting slips ready. Please listen to this story from Toastmaster Tyagarajan.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, salutations to all of you. Oh, let me thank the organizers of this meeting for having given me an opportunity to share some of my thoughts. Yes, only qualification now I am standing before you is I was a British slave for how long? From 42 to 47. Yes, yes, yes. So I tasted independence very much. Yes, yes, definitely. Now over to some thoughts which I have to share. The citizens of Madras should feel guilty. Why you may so? See, a landmark venue has been totally marginalized. A sanctimonious venue, a venue from which the father of the nation, made a call. Yes. To whom? To the entire masses of India. The year was 1990. The venue is near Hotel Chola. Still you can see there two plaques. In one plaque, it has been engraved. What happened on the day? Is 20th March 1990. Mahatma Gandhi made his third visit to Madras in 1919 March. He was invited by the Kasturi Iyengar. Yes, he was the founder of the Hindu, the paper which we all read every day. And behind that invitation was none other than Sri Rajagopalachari. Both of them did not know Mahatma Gandhi from Adam. Yes, but still Mahatma Gandhi accepted the invitation and stayed as the guest. Where? Near the spot where Hotel Chola is standing. The name of the building was Tilak Bhavan. Tilak Bhavan. It was later demolished, and on the spot we see now a 5-star hotel. And Gandhiji stayed there, and on that night he was a sleepless soul. Yes, he didn't wink his eye. Why? Because House of Commons has passed a draconian act, Rowlatt Act. The act has provided that the British government is empowered to arrest anyone at any moment, anywhere, without attributing any reasons. So Mahatma was very much agitated. In the early morning, the twilight, he woke up and he visualized a dream. Yes, yes, yes. We know great things have happened in dream. You may not be knowing. And that day, the concept of non-cooperation dawned on his dream. He came to the backyard of the Tilak Bhavan, and in the twilight, he saw Rajagopalachari for the first time. And he shared his thoughts. See, why can't I make a call to the entire nation now today to go in for a hartal against this, protesting this Rowlatt Act? It is a draconian act. What do you see? Rajagopalachari felt very shy, and very soon they developed a harmony, both Rajagopalachari and Mahatma Gandhi. And that Mahadev Desai, then who was the private secretary to Mahatma Gandhi, whispered in Mahatma Gandhi's ears, you should cultivate this man, don't miss him. So the friendship grew, and a call was made from that spot, from Hotel Chola, for the entire nation. And what was the response? Tremendous. He has appealed that all the students should boycott school. The lawyers should boycott courts. And totally all the textiles, imported textiles should be burnt. The whole nation responded to the call. And in Amritsar, the historical Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Yes, that you should have heard. It was in response to a call in the hotel venue, Hotel Chola. Yes, and that historical venue was commemorated by Acharya Kripalani in a meeting which I had the privilege of attending in the year 1968. It was then that two plaques were laid down. Yes, to build a library. But to this day, the Chennai citizens of Madras have forgotten it. I am very ashamed and feel outraged about it. But still, they have not removed the plaques. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir. That was a slice of history, very unexpected that we got. Thank you for the freshness of your memory. Fantastic. Now, we move on to the climax of the fearless singing we had promised each other. There's also an opportunity to do the voting. Please do the voting, and then we will go into the last act of the evening. What we are headed for is what psychologists call the purgatory session, breaking the shackles of the lockdown, the suppression of being shooed into silence, denied the fundamental right to a full-throated song, a basic right? Let's regain our freedom. Let's sing together the national anthem and bring meeting number 583 to a glorious close. Let's sing together. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maharashtra Dravid Utkalavanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Ujjala Jaladi Taranga Tava Shubha Naam Hai Aahe Tava Shubha Ashisha Mange Aahe Tava Jaya Gata Jana Gana Mangala Dayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 Jaya
Again.
Thank you very much. All of you are welcome to the largest room in Chennai, which is the Medley chat room. We will also announce the results as we chat. What would like to hear from the guests, how differently we can do things here. May I request DTM Brilliant, any thoughts for us? I know today we had a lot of things going wrong.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I enjoyed being a part of this session today. In terms of improvement, well, I think one aspect which I felt the general evaluator also shared is that if you have any session, we should have at least a minute's time given to the speaker. And instead of getting 10 speakers, it would be good to have 5 speakers, but they get at least 1 minute time so that they get the essence of speaking in general.
Okay.
And nothing else from my side. Thank you so much for inviting me. Back to you.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you, Ji. DTM Anjum. DTM Sheikh Anjum.
Thank you. Indeed, I'm really grateful to you for inviting me and giving me an opportunity among all the great leaders, opportunity to learn, especially at this club level. It is indeed quite experiencing for me and enjoyable also to face all my leaders and learn a lot from each one of you. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. In fact, we truly appreciate the wisdom that you bring to us, and we thought the best way to inject this skills is when you hold the mirror for us. So I think Toastmaster Furvies, he had to leave, if I'm not mistaken. So I must thank you both on behalf of my colleagues, my fellow Medlians. I must thank you both, and I think DTM Jaker, he's one of our senior most members. He was also with us, but he had to leave in the middle because he had a connectivity issue.
Purvis is here, Thomas, sir.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so sorry. I thought you had to leave. Toastmaster Purvis, please. Hello.
He's muted. He is muted, yeah.
Could you please unmute yourself? We are so happy to have you joining us. You are such a dexterous talent. I've heard you more than once. Therefore, it was a pleasure for me to have you for us to have you with us. I do not. Yeah, is muted. No issue. So, would any of the guests like to speak to us? Because we couldn't accommodate everybody. Any chat, anyone? And Mr. Thomas, Mr. Saravanan, our VPE, will be in touch with you. Yeah. Would anyone like to give a suggestion or an opinion? Most welcome. By the way, tomorrow we have a meeting. Don't forget, tomorrow we have a speakathon, 7 speeches. So maybe that's why you're holding back your breath. I have no problem with that. Yes, Sunil?
No, I lost the connection between, just came back. Anyway, I've given as a general evaluator, but I really enjoyed it because there's a lot of numbers, people from different places, and a lot of ex-Medlians also were there. So happy to be here today.
Very true, very true. In fact, DTM Anjan, are you still in Bangalore? Or
Yes.
are you managed?
Yeah, I'm still in Bangalore, yeah.
Oh, okay. Bangalore, there's a lot of good clubs. I once spent 3 months there. Yeah, I was, I was club hopping. DTM Brilliant, you might know. There are some clubs, in case you know them. Where do you live, sir? Where do you live in Bangalore?
I'm here near Begur village, they say.
Begur.
It is on the suburb, yeah. It is not in the
Okay.
outside.
City, you have, including you have an advanced club also. I've been there.
Yeah, I have been to a couple of times earlier, not in this era. To gardens.
Now everything is online, so you just need to go and Google.
Yeah.
You will get everything online.
Exactly. There are 2 clubs in Koramangala. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Absolutely. I forgot. Because I imagined my physically being there, I visualized that party, right? Very true.
You can have the winners done.
Yeah, sure. In fact, you could announce the results. But go ahead.
The best speaker is Toastmaster Dinesh.
Okay.
And best evaluator is Dr. Sheikh Anju.
Okay. Congrats.
Best tag player Adishay Jain. And best role player Dr. Sampath.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, gentlemen, we will request you to join us again. We will be in touch with you both. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Ajit.
Bye for now.
Sure. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Sundaresan, you're saying something? Sorry.
Thank you so much. Stay safe, everyone.
I enjoyed the session, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Just only one line I want to share with you all. I'm coming from the background of Toastmasters, 18 years in a multinational environment.
Right.
Different nationalities, because the one sitting in the right will be a Pakistani and the one sitting in the left will be an Egyptian in that environment. So this type of theme and singing national anthem is not possible at all. So first time in my home ground. I'm proud to say at Chennai, you gave this opportunity, invited me, and I enjoyed this. God bless all my good wishes. And I thank Dr. Sampath Saurirajan, my good old friend, who gave me the idea of joining, who suggested me to join in this Medley Toastmasters. It's a nice Medleyan group. I forgot to show even, I thought of giving some good wishes to you all, but I know we are not meeting physically. So after several years of school, I purchased a crayon box yesterday evening. My wife laughed at me. It's on A4 paper, and I have written a greetings for you all.
Oh my God. Oh, lovely, lovely. You know what? Truly, if we can discover the child in us, then we have a very smooth. No, that's how we approach this meeting. That's why I let out the entire truth.
I don't know when I purchased crayons last in my life. Yesterday evening I purchased, and my wife was looking at this. Why you are purchasing crayons now? Because no child, no teenager at home. So today morning I drew this one for you all, Medleyans. Happy Independence Day and all good wishes. God bless you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. See you all tomorrow again.
Sure. And DTM Anjum, I must say this to you. DTM Mukta gave me your reference. I think I explained to you. DTM Mukta gave me your reference.
So kind of you. And just send me tomorrow's link also in case if I am able to attend.
Absolutely. Link is the same, sir. Today what I sent you is the same link. Tomorrow, 2:55. Tomorrow we have possibly 7 speeches. But sir, it will be only 7 speeches and evaluations. We will not have table topics or anything.
No problem. Just to learn. Just to learn.
Yeah. Most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. So Ranga, you know, by the way, now we can speak. Narasimhan, you are there. You know, I don't think anybody here knows this. Ranga and Pranav, these 2 guys acted like, you may laugh at it, you may make whatever fun of it. They acted like, you know, agents, election agents, booth agents to contact people and get them to come in. That's how we got 42 people. We can laugh at it, we can look down upon it, but they managed to get 42 people in.
Good, sir, good. We needed that, especially this being a team meeting, right? We definitely needed that.
Yeah.
That is to bring the total camaraderie of the medley.
Friends.
I think that's a good job which is done by Ranga and Pranav.
But who scored the winning run? Who scored the winning run? Sugandhi. We were wondering how we will reach that number, and then Sugandhi sends me a photograph from the event to prove that she was in. With that, we got through. Thank you very much, Sugandhi.
Sir, you know whom to depute, Ranga and Pranav, to whom we cannot ever say no to.
No, but I'm telling you, those 2 guys were sweet.
No,
they
friends,
took it on themselves.
I want to say this. In spite of WhatsApp and Facebook and email, all those things, still a telephone call and direct voice has got effect. People who pretend and ignore all the other things cannot do that. Particularly even if they genuinely cannot attend one meeting, next week when you call, they cannot keep on saying no. So this personal call is a very important thing. Nowadays, it is not being practiced much. So probably the EXCOM, in some clubs we have done this, EXCOM can distribute the rest of the club. For example, there are 7 people, total 50 people. Each EXCOM member gets 6 persons. He will personally call every week. So there is somebody calling personally. It certainly has got a better effect in indirectly, gently forcing the people to come and attend.
So Sugandhi, you're sitting in the car and you stop the car and then attended the meeting, or how is that?
While my video was off, I was driving. Now I want to speak with all of you, so I pulled over and I switched on the video.
President should have referred to this kind of enthusiasm from the club members, and no, Chuma, I'm just joking. Okay.
You're pulling my legs, huh?
But are you allowed to drive around like this? You're supposed to drive around only for requirements, no?
Yes, sir. I came up for a doctor appointment. So I thought, okay, since Zoom allowed me to join, and I joined.
You're in Salem, no? Salem, right?
Yes, sir, Salem.
Okay, yeah. You need to come back to Chennai, yeah? Okay.
I think I might make a visit sometime during September 1st week just to have a come look at my house and then pick up a few stuff
Okay.
and get back.
Yeah.
You're going to get the e-pass or something, right?
Yes, that's tough. Even
Yes,
I'm trying to come back for a week and then just see. Okay.
Raghu is stuck in Kerala. He is not getting the e-pass to come back.
Oh, really? Okay, I should check with them. Maybe I'm also trying to come back for a week.
No, good news is I think yesterday evening or something, the Chief Minister has announced that
Inter-district.
whoever applies for e-pass with a valid reason, they will give us an e-pass.
That's inter-district only. Only for
No,
districts.
for intra-district and for inter-district, I think they'll give a pass with 14-day quarantine.
Actually, that's a
Ours
good
is
one because,
interstate.
it's not. It was not. Yeah, interstate is not still tough. Those who are left Chennai should not come back. That's what the government.
Actually, Suman sir, in my case, Chennai was earlier time. Chennai was willing to give me a pass, but the return
Yeah.
pass to Salem, the collector he made a public announcement saying, "I'm not letting anybody from Chennai to enter into Salem district." So
Chennai was even here. The Chennai guys are all treated as differently. But when the numbers are going reverse now, so they are okay now. I think. But Chennai doesn't have. Most of them are left. I think in a lot of people are. I mean, who are employed and working, they were all. Many of them left. Okay, so maybe that is one of the reason I feel like again the spread is not that much.
Yeah, Chennai is under control. Overall, numbers are under control. You're right.
Oh, great. Okay. So anyway, this is going on. I think for quite some time, and the expectation, the estimates comes out it will be June. Even the vaccine enters the situation, and then the kids are being given it, and then they are thinking about next academic year. It seems. So that's
It's a zero academic year or something like that.
yeah, they're planning that zero academic year, but doesn't mean they'll cut the academic year. I think active. You will be taught whatever you have taken that you've taken. That's all. But they can't cut 1 year, no. You can't take 1 year.
Yeah.
Every day we are adding 1 lakh people. Every day 1 lakh cases. Where would we end?
No, the vaccine is only cure, sir. I think unless vaccine is there, people will be scared, afraid. Because for the kids and all, who will send the kids to school? I will not. My wife is a teacher, but I will not send my kids to the school.
Exactly.
Okay, that's very scary. Okay, because there are reports that the US and all school kids are getting.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is bad case.
That's a bad news. So that's a way like that is the worry. Like unless the transport system improves, the school cannot be run.
True.
Yeah. Anyway,
All
let's
right.
continue like this for some time.
Yeah, we will see tomorrow.
Okay, Sugandhi, one thing. Sugandhi, one
Yes,
you have
Yes,
attended
sir.
this international convention, no? So
yes, sir.
so it will be like it's 5 days in the sense. Will be like 12 continuous 8 hours, or how is that?
I haven't. I mean, have they rolled out? I don't think they've
Yeah.
yet to. They rolled out the agenda for the international convention, but I
They have.
think they will have it in slots because not everybody. I mean, the time zones are different, right? So I
Yeah.
think they might not have entire day sessions. Probably about for 5 hours or something. Because at the convention, usually it is not back-to-back sessions and contests and everything. They usually have stuff related to elections, candidate showcase, and some free slots and all that. So now,
Muted. You are muted. You are muted.
presidents
Your
and
voice.
Yeah.
You lost your voice.
Yeah. Yes, you're back.
I was saying that the sessions related to elections and stuff, candidate interviews and all, candidate showcase and all that, they might give it to only the presidents and secretaries who have to cast their vote, and the other sessions, I think they will roll it out to all of us.
So the semi-finals and final will be happening on the last 2 days or something.
Semi-finals might happen a day or two earlier, sir.
Okay. So we will be on the other side of the the timing, right? So I think we have a late night or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think mostly they will keep the US people in mind
Yeah.
as always and run the show.
Even though an Indian president is there, okay.
Yeah, it's a US based organization, sir. And we
Yeah,
pay
that's
$1.
right. Okay. Anyway, that's a good opportunity. At least we can witness this way of yeah. But I think that there also it's like virtual thing only. There is no in person is allowed, right? US.
At least as far as my clients are concerned, all of them have not gone to office, and my client as such worldwide, they are not expecting employees to return until this year end.
Oh, okay. Now, I mean, what about the convention? I'm talking about the convention. Convention is also like the same
Yes,
way.
sir.
Like,
It's completely virtual only. It's completely virtual. I mean, no in-person sessions.
okay, okay. Thank you. I was
Okay,
also
see
thinking
you.
like, yeah.
Yep.
See
All
you.
right.
Bye-bye.
I'll
Have a
take
nice evening.
Have a
Yeah.
great
Bye,
day.
sir.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, sir.